Hi, welcome back. Uh, Welcome to my channel Techie Krish or GH Agra. So in my last video, I discussed how to create multiple dependent drop-down lists, and there we observed that the data was available in the same sheet where I created the dependent drop-down list. And this time I'm going to create the dependent drop-down list, but the data is available in another sheet, but dynamically it is added to the current sheet. Means dynamically means if I want to add some data to that sheet, the data will be reflected in my drop down, and if I delete the data, then updated data will be reflected in my drop down. So let's move to our Google Sheet. So here this is my Google Sheet over here, and I want what I want. So I have created already these, you know, title housewise list of students. So I just want to see here, this cell is having the houses, list of houses, drop down list of houses, and this will uh, have the drop down list corresponding to the house which I select from column A. And before that I create the drop down list, I must remind you that in my last video I also discussed indirect function and named range. So you also observed that the named range was the name of the named range was identical to the house names. So same here I am going to give the named range as the house names. So named range with the house name means the house name should be identical to the named range, and only then the data can be fetched. Okay, so I'm going to create and my data is on my another sheet. This is my data. Okay, so there are four houses: Ashoka, Raman, Tagore, and Nehru. And if I create the drop down from this header, I'm going to create the drop down list from this header, and when I click on the house, individual house, the list of that house should be displayed in my adjacent column. So come to this place, and I'm going to first I'll give the named range. So to give the named range, I'll go to data and we'll select a named range. We'll add the range, then the range of data is this. So I have included empty cells also. So that when I add any element, extra element to my list, that element should be reflected in my drop down, and if I delete the element, deleted element should go off. And this time one thing I must remember, that named range should be identical to the name of the house. So I am here giving the Ashoka house, and the range of this Ashoka house is A2 to A13, where three cells are empty, and I say done. The next I'm going to select B column with some spare cells, and I'll add range. I'll give the name as Raman, and we'll say done. Raman house name range is created. Now I'm going to create the third name, add range, and this is Tagore, and say done. Then I'll select the list of Nehru House, and we'll click on add range, and I'll give Nehru name to this range, and we'll click on done. So my 4 ranges are named as Ashoka, Nehru, Raman and Tagore. Okay, so this task is over. Come to my original sheet. So my original sheet is saying ki houses are there, and on clicking the house from this list, which I'll create here. Suppose I am going to create drop down list here. So go to data and click on data validation, and I'm going to select this header, add rule, and from this drop down gonna select the header. So this is my header. So my drop down list is created. So see here, and since this is dynamic, means if I want to if I add any element to this header, suppose Azad. So one element in header or heading, if I add here, so this will be reflected in my drop down. Oh, I'm sorry. Suppose I select this and this, then I said okay. When I come to my sheet and when I click, so this element is added. So when I delete this, so this list will not be impacted if I delete the element from here. Suppose I delete this and come to this place. So when I click on drop down, I'll get 4 houses. So this way I have created a drop down list. And what I want, so what I want that if I click on the house name, the corresponding list of students should be displayed in B column. So how to do this? For that I am going to use indirect function. Okay, indirect function equal indirect function, and over here I'll give the cell reference. So this is the cell reference. Okay, and press the enter key. Oh, this is just because of I have not selected the house. So see here, the house, as soon as I select the house, the corresponding list is displayed here. Like this. And since this list is also dynamic, so if I add any element here, say Naman and say Rashid, and as soon as I go to my drop down and I click Ashoka, so Naman is added to the list. Rashid is added to the Raman house list. And if I delete them, and come to the same place, see here, the name goes off. Similarly, name goes off Tagore, the list is here, and narrow house, the list is here. So this way I have used indirect function, and my data is on the reference sheet, means the separate sheet, and from that sheet, with the help of the reference, the data is fetched and reflected in my multiple DDL sheet. So this way I can say the data is fetched using the reference and indirect function with the help of named range. Here named range plays very important role, because the named range name is on the house name. So Nehru house, this is named range. Ashoka house is a named range. Tagore house is a named range. So this way these named ranges helping us here. So hope you understood how to create dynamic drop down or multiple dynamic drop down in the Google Sheet. So if you like this video, kindly use this concept in your day-to-day task, and share it with your friends and superiors also. And if you like this video, kindly share and subscribe, and drop a comment in description box so that I'll be motivated. So we'll meet in the next video. That's all for the day, with some new scenario and command or function. Till then, bye bye.